Okay, we are going to continue on with part 2 of learning how to use masking fluid with watercolor on our flowers. So at this point, because it's a little time heavy, meaning it took a while, we've already removed the frisket, the masking fluid. So that can be done by simply just kind of rolling your hand, your finger, and pressing and rolling it over, and then getting a little bit and peeling it off. And you'll see where that was blocked, all the white will remain untouched. So first step is removing all of that, and then of course throwing it away. And go over it a few times so you don't feel any like that at the end, making sure you do have every little speck of it. And then you're ready to actually start adding your details. So with any painting that we're going to be doing as our final, you would use this technique to map out any of those extreme whites, those highlights, and then you can still paint into it later. You could block and then have it be a different color. Any strong edge or any highlights are going to be ideal for masking fluid. So what I chose to do is actually have the paint go in the negative space, which is the in-between. It's where I put my pencil lines. And you could have done it in a different way. There's no wrong way to do this. It's all just learning how to use this properly. But you'll notice it's not a perfect edge on some of these areas, and I'm going to go in and refine that. I don't like the edge here. That's a little extreme from white to that fade. So this is when the details come in. I could switch to another color, but I'm going to stay with that same cool colors going on. Excuse me. So I'm going to first edge some of those areas that I felt like did not act as clean as I would like. So I'm using a very detailed brush. I could probably go even more than that. I'm not using as much water at this point. So let's say I want that to be a little edge of a flower. Let me show you exactly what I'm doing here. So this edge is rough right there, simply just using a detailed amount of paint, meaning it's not very watery, and cleaning that up. This was originally a leaf right here, so I'm actually going to fill that in a little bit more and give it that edge dark. You could leave it choppy like it was, that's okay, but really it's you, the artist, deciding what you want to do with it. What I like, what happens is that's a faded color violet, and I can push the darks and give it a little more contrast without that much effort, because when I did the swirling, it naturally faded the color a little bit. So you can see how much more that pops out just by giving it some detail. Okay, so another area I would like to work on. I don't like what's going on right here. I just realized I was about to move on. I don't like that connection. Right now it's really white right next to the color. So I'm going to use my paper towel to judge this, but I want to fade near the flower petal edge. I'm going to make that really dark right underneath there, because if you're picturing what would actually be happening, this would be the highlight, and then there'd be a shadow because the light wouldn't hit under the petal, is what I was about to say. All right, now, as I do that, I'm going to fade it just like I would with any other value. So I'm right in here right now. So I want to go dark, use pure water on my brush, pulling that edge really quickly. I can have it be, actually reverse that. So it goes dark to light. That's the type of details we want to spend some time on this step. You can see what happens even with just those two spots. It's a great way to do that. We'll do that a few times. So I'm going to put some paint here. And that's all the paint I need, and then I can start to fade to a highlight. It's a little bubble, so I dry brush helps. Remember, if you go too far, that one's carrying just a little too far. I can kind of back that up. So I'm trying to find some areas of value that I go in detail. That is your next requirement. And that could be on the inside part of the petal where it goes dark to light. That'll make it look really cool. Any petal going in, whatever the petal shape is, it doesn't matter. Dark, medium, light, all the way to that highlight, if that's the way you did that, is a great option if you're not really sure where to add it. Beyond that, it's really just blurring and kind of blending some kind of hard edges that we're not super happy about. For example, right here. I don't want that extreme white edge. So I can go back to some of my loose painting and just fix some of those areas that need a little more attention. And it might be revisiting some swirling and splattering. Just be careful because you're no longer blocking the areas that need to be blocked. So as long as you keep it a little more controlled, you can do some of that swirling. For example, up here, I can kind of angle it and give a few drips, but I'm not going to go this way because I want to keep that now that I've gotten it. So again, I've faded this edge a little more, gives kind of that texture going on. I want some of that. And that's what you're going to keep doing. So detailing out, again, this is an area I probably would add some value right here. Anywhere that's kind of inside whatever that flower is you designed is going to be a good area to start with. Dark to light. You can see it's starting to just define a little more as I go. I have a lot more areas to go with that. So good luck, have fun.